Mark forgot to, I don't know, we just finished our second day on TV. Our show is simulcast now on NBC Sports Boston. I also played 9 years in the NFL, so that counts towards the pension. The kids don't know anything about a pension yet. Well, you smart ones probably do. Quick thing here. I like these events, and Julie just found out she was going to speak. She did a great job talking for 15 seconds. I'm going to talk for 45 seconds, and we'll get back out of here because I know you want your awards. I like these events because I was in your shoes one time, a long time ago, many eons ago. It's funny you mentioned Super Bowl 31, and you think, man, how many Super Bowls since then? That was in 1997. I graduated high school in 1986. You know, we're doing a radio today, and you go all the way back to that year. It's when Careless Whisper from George Michael and Wham was released. Some of your parents are out there laughing. That's how old we are. That's how old we are. This is how quick our kids grow up. Enjoy it now. I turned 50 this year, and I feel like I'm 25. I act like I'm 25, and I think that's the athlete in me. You see some people that graduate, they grow up quick, and you kind of get bored with life. And I think the best thing about being an athlete, being a student athlete, is that you have something that these other kids don't have. You guys are sitting in a ballroom right now in Lombardo's. I used to go to the nightclub next door. How many of you raise your hand, your parents, that went to Vincent's nightclub? I probably saw some of you mothers out there on Sunday nights. I'm sorry if I said anything or did anything. You know, this whole movement now, I hear no evil, see no evil. I'm just kidding. But here I am again. This kind of comes full circle. You know, I used to go there as a single guy, never had a family, never had kids. Now there I am with 3 kids. My daughter is going to college this year. She's going to be attending UMass. She played sports throughout her whole high school career. She started as a freshman in high school. She was 6'1", but she is 6'1", like past tense. I'm already getting rid of her. So she played for King Philip. She didn't play her senior year because she had a knee injury. And I shouldn't talk to you about AAU because if you play, raise your hand if you play AAU. Okay, we don't have a lot of kids. We do. We have a couple kids that play. Be careful of AAU because it's year-round and it tends to wear your body down. You guys are still growing, all of you, freshmen and sophomores. Be careful because at times AAU can become a moneymaker. And it wears kids down playing one specific sport 365 days a year, year-round. You should enjoy the ability to play all different sports because it makes your body change. You know, baseball is a complex sport. You got to learn swing angle, leverage, exit, launch velocity. You got to throw the ball. You got to catch the ball. Football, you get to hit people. That's the greatest thing. Basketball is a different skill set. Girls field hockey, lacrosse. All these kids are playing lacrosse now. You know, soccer's dangerous. Playing club soccer year round. Just be careful. You don't wear your body down. Be careful of injuries. Be aware of injuries. I'll tell you a quick story about me. I grew up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, a real small town. My mom was a teacher in our school district for 45 years. She taught reading. My dad was an educator. He was an administrator, gym teacher. He was my coach. He coached a guy by the name of Joe Montana. Kids, you remember Joe Montana? Well, yeah, now you know Tom Brady. Tom Brady's better than Montana. Joe Montana grew up in my town. And my dad was the coach. I was 7 years old when Joe was in high school. This is 1974. And I used to be the water boy. And not only from our hometown was Joe Montana, but a guy by the name of Ken Griffey Sr. My dad went to high school with him. Stan the Man Musial. We talked about Ted Williams today. Stan the Man Musial was as good as Teddy Ballgame back in the day for the St. Louis Cardinals. And this all came from a small town of about 30,000 people. And you're thinking, well, how can this be? Because sports is important. It was important where I grew up. And the best thing that I have is my mom would always get on me about the academics. My dad always took care of the sports. So there were times that we didn't have cell phones. We didn't have iPads. Shoot, when I got drafted by the Patriots, the internet wasn't even invented yet. So think about that, right? When the hell did the internet come around? Mid-90s, right? Flip phones, that all came around mid-90s. We grew up as kids knowing where kids were, what house they were playing at, or where the bikes were in the yard. So you would come home, okay, where's everybody at? We couldn't call them, we didn't have cell phones. My grandfather would come over our house, we'd be out playing as kids about 6 houses down. He used to be able to whistle with his 2 fingers, and that was our call to come home for dinner. So enjoy being kids. Don't get caught up in all these games. Who plays Fortnite? Yeah, all you guys, David Price, right? Yeah, you see what that does to him? See what Fortnite does? You get that all that tingling in your fingers. Be careful of not being a kid. Enjoy these years that you have now. These are the best years of your life. I'm serious. My best friend was my best friend in high school. Senior, we were seniors together. We went on to play basketball at Duquesne. I ended up going to Maryland. To this day, he's my best man in my wedding. And I say was because it's past tense. He was killed by a drunk driver about 5 years ago. So there's going to be things in life. There's going to be challenges in life for you as you continue to get older. But enjoy it. These people sitting at these tables with you, your family members, whether your uncles, grandfathers, grandmothers, mothers, these are your role models. Look up to them because they drove you here. You know, they brought you here. They're sitting having a meal with you as you're going to get up here to get your awards, continue your education, continue to play for teams because it's important to them. Think about the countless practices that they attended, the countless games. You know, maybe on a bad night where you know you're not having a good shooting night, and you're sitting on the bench and looking down, but you know your parents are up there. And everyone wants to encourage you, you know, keep going, keep going. Be appreciative of your parents and the people that brought you here. How many are going to college this year? There you go. Excited? Scared, huh? No, don't be scared. The best thing, and are you going to play at the next level? If you're going to play at the next level, meaning if you're going to play in a sport team, those are going to be your friends. Those are the bonds you're going to form. You're never going to forget those bonds. You can have the greatest group of friends that you think you have now that don't play sports, but when you get older in life, like the guys that I call are everybody that I play football with, everybody that I play basketball with. Sports makes you form friendships, form bonds that you're never going to forget. It allows you to have structure. And you're going to need this when you get to college. So I'm telling you, you're going to have a lot of freedom when you get to college. You're going to go to classes, and there's going to be 300 kids in the class, maybe there's going to be 30 kids in the class. Then you're going to figure out, wow, that 300 kid class, I really don't have to go to because the teacher doesn't know I'm not going to be there. Yeah, that didn't work out too well for me. I did that in Maryland. I ended up thinking it was 5 years, 5 summers I had to go because I screwed up some classes. Hey, you learn from your mistakes. But the best advice I can give you is, whatever you do in life, attack it with energy. This is what I try to do on the radio. When I get on the radio every day, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about half the time. Pretend you know the room. Pretend you know what you're talking about. And people will respond. I'm serious. You're not going to laugh at it. You think I know hockey? No, you didn't know baseball. You didn't know basketball. But you just gotta go with the flow. You gotta pretend you know it. Know the room. Know everything. You don't have to know everything about everything, but know a little bit about everything. Listen when people talk to you. Listen when your coaches talk to you. Listen when your teachers talk to you. I'll give you some advice for some of you guys that are sophomores and juniors. I know you obviously have good grades, or else you wouldn't be here because you didn't have good grades. You now have the cornerstones to be able to juggle both, and that's extremely important because you can't play if you don't have good grades. My daughter had good grades until she was a junior. She started playing AAU basketball, traveling year-round, traveling back and forth. We live in Randolph, so she was driving Rivers, which is in, I think it's in Newton, or whatever town it's in, Newton Islands. And she would spend 6-7 hours a day back and forth traveling and practices, and the grades would slip. You gotta be able to keep the grades up. And this is the hardest part. When you start filling out applications for colleges, and girls, I'm telling you, it's way more difficult for you guys. Because for you to get in, and recruiting is different. You know, the boys, recruiting is different for boys. They find boys, it's easy to recruit. For girls out there that are really good parents, you gotta help your daughters get recruited. That's the thing that shocked me. When I grew up in Pittsburgh, I was the top kid coming out of the state of Pennsylvania. And the recruiters would come, they find you. If you're good, they're gonna find you eventually. But girls' sports are a little bit different. So be careful when teams start recruiting your kids if they have the ability to. There's a lot of money out there. If your kids have really good grades, you're gonna have the ability to get some breaks in college. But from a competitive level, to get kids into school, we didn't find out until that last minute in March that my daughter got into UMass. It is tough because there were 42,000 applicants to UMass to come in as freshmen this year. They only accepted 4,100 kids. That's less than 10%. So all these schools, you better have 10 to 15 that are potential schools that you're interested in. Don't just get concentrated on one. It's nice to have a dream to go to one school, but just be careful. Always have that backup plan out there. I got drafted here in 1991, and it was by a guy by the name of Dick McPherson. So he got here and he recruited me to go to Syracuse. I was going to go to Syracuse. I went on a recruiting trip up there. They had 36 teams. help. So he tracked him, he's like, shit, I got you now, you gotta come here. So they picked me up, end of April, this is back when the draft was 12 rounds, lasted 3 days. So they fly me into Boston, it was a Friday night. Of course, it was the end of April, so it's sleet, rain, partial snow. I land, they misspelled my name, Zollock, on some guy standing there who still works for the Patriots to this day, to pick me up in a car, to take me back. So I got to drive past the old Boston Garden. Needless to say, I got to Foxborough Stadium. And you can't see in the middle of the night, it was about a 4-hour trip. And you have no clue, for a kid that's coming here and thinking, I have no clue what Foxborough is. So he goes, we're gonna take you down to your hotel. I said, oh great, I'm tired, I get to stretch out, nice hotel, and something to eat. He goes down over top of the hill, there's this place called the End Zone Motor Lodge, down at the bottom of the hill. So I walk in, I'm thinking, oh God, I must have made it. So I go in, there's a rotary phone, and I call my dad. He's like, hey, how are the digs? I said, well, the hotel's about as nice as the stadium, driving past it. And that old stadium was pretty damn good, it was special. But to see how the brand has grown, and to be part of it now, it's pretty amazing. You know, I was there with 2 of 14 teams, playing for the Patriots back in the early 90s. Some of you probably had easy tickets. You could walk up and buy tickets. Now there's a 40-year wait list. But just to see what Mr. Kraft has done with the team and how it has grown, I got to play for Bill Parcells. I think he helped save football here in New England. Eventually went to Pete Carroll. Pretty tight with Bill Belichick, had him as the defensive coordinator. And just to see what he's been able to do and how you need stability at the top. So they have a great owner. They basically have had 2 quarterbacks since the early 90s, Drew Bledsoe and Tom Brady. Brady's still going. You've had 2 kickers, Vinatieri and Steve Gostowski, who's a great kicker, great kid. And they seem to have the recipe. Great coach, great ownership, damn good quarterbacks throughout the course of the years here. It's a pretty dramatic offseason we've had. But I started doing the broadcast 6 years ago, and sort of a good luck charm. I told 6 straight AFC Championship games, 3 Super Bowls. This one's from the Atlanta Super Bowl. 283 diamonds in this bad boy. And it was kind of weird calling that game. And you know, talking to Mark here, we went to the Super Bowl. When you go to the Super Bowl, you spend a lot of money. And as you know, as fans, as family. So they're getting their ass kicked. They're down 18 points at halftime. I start going through the itemized bill. My wife came out. We got her a hotel room, so that's a $4 minimum. $600 flight. We had $2,000 tickets because we got lower level tickets. I brought my sister too. I'm thinking, oh, it's going to be great. See Brady in the Super Bowl. They're getting their tails kicked in. I'm just writing it down. And all of a sudden, they start coming back later in that game. I took that sheet of paper and I tore it up and I threw it. I said, I didn't care what it was. We had a great time that night, great post game. It's just weird the way things went down at Philadelphia Super Bowl a couple months ago. And I think there's a lot of questions still need to be answered with the quarterback, with the head coach, with the tight end, with Malcolm Butler, who's not here. But the nice thing about being around this team is guys come and go. And what they do is they reload. And that's sort of what you do. You know, you're going to matriculate. You have 4 years of high school. You're going to have 4 years of college. And you just got to figure out what's important in life. Here's one thing moving forward. Sports is somehow going to help you get your next job. I went to Maryland for 5 years. I changed my major 5 times. I had no clue what I wanted to do. When you can blame Lenny Bias for this? When I came out in 1986, there was a guy by the name of Lenny Bias that the Celtics drafted. Died from cocaine overdose. So they changed all of our admission standards for athletes and what athletes were allowed to do at the university. So we really were the benefit of that, not the benefit that hurt us. Because you couldn't take general studies, you couldn't take communications. I wanted to get into communications. My mother said, you're never going to be on TV or radio. What the hell do you want to do communications for? So I got out of that major, tried to get into business school. And you're going to have to keep your GPA up to the next level too. Couldn't get into the business school because you needed 3.5. So I took agricultural business. I got a hell of a yard at home. I have no weeds. I know when I put the rug down, I'm telling you, that fescue bent grass, it's nice and tight, so it's cut great. I cut it 2 different ways. Actually, the guy cuts it, but he has a nice job. Then I ended up going into architecture. And then the team told me, well, you really can't major in architecture because spring football coincides with the big junior and senior architecture studios that you're going to have to take, so you're going to miss practice. Since you're on scholarship, we don't allow you to do that. So I ended up graduating with the agricultural business. But I got my job here because I played for the Patriots. A guy by the name of Bob Lobel, when I retired, who used to work for Channel 4, said, why don't you come on and try and do a pregame and postgame show? You go back and watch some of those games, oh God, they're so bad, so awful.
But that got my foot in the door because I played sports. So that opened up an opportunity. I ended up starting to do radio down in Providence many moons ago. Waking up 5:30 in the morning to do 6 to 9 o'clock in the morning radio. And that was a grind. Then we eventually come together as the sports hub. I worked at WEI with Conor Woodway and those guys. That's where all of us started. And then the sports hub came together. So it's kind of cool to see how everything came full circle. And then the team hires you to be the broadcaster. I never knew what I wanted to do at 16, 17, 18 years of age. And I'm sure you do, both girls and boys. You gotta have some sort of path, some sort of dream. But if it gets derailed and it doesn't come true, or that one dream, there's always something else to do. Continue to drive, continue to push. It's great to be here. I'm just thankful to come out and share some of the message with you guys. I'll open it up to questions, Q&A, if anybody has any. Don't be shy.